Hi. Hello. It's Thursday. It's 3 o'clock here in Paris time and 2 o'clock in the UK time and 9 o'clock in EST. So that means it's chat with Cat again. Hi. I'm really enjoying doing these now. Can you tell? So hello to anyone who wants to pop in live while I'm talking here on Facebook or on YouTube, wherever you're watching from. If you're watching on YouTube, please come across and find me on Facebook. You can find me under Cat Knott Uninvented Life. And likewise, if you're on Facebook, please come over and follow me on YouTube because there is more YouTube stuff coming in the future. So yeah, it's very exciting. I can see the world evolving in front of me right now, and things may be going a little bit slower than I'd expected, but we're going to talk about that. So today, before I, well, as I'm sitting down to do all of these things, I have a little pack of cards, which are lovely. They're called Living Light, little tiny cards. And I always pull a card, whether I'm doing a client call or whatever it is. And today's was, I am victorious. And I just wanted to show you that today because I thought you might need to see that. Because I think we can all get into these points where, you know, it all seems a bit fucking pointless, to be honest, doesn't it? We've all had these days, or even a extended period of time where it's all, what is the fucking point? And there's a difference, you know, this difference of this emptiness that comes with this feeling of pointlessness. And that's what I want to talk about today, because we've been on a bit of a journey. If you haven't watched one of these before, please go back, maybe nip over onto YouTube and you'll find all of the live conversations there really easily in a playlist, and you can just start and have a little splurge or feel which one calls to you. Because we often talk about this progression, we often talk about our evolution and unfolding and reweaving of the world and unweaving nonsense. So it really is all of these conversations that I do and all of the work that I do with the crew, which is my spirit collective, is all about unweaving, like what I just call the fuckery of life, like the solidity and the nonsense that we get tied into and the patterns and all of the I have tos and I musts and I shoulds and all of that soul destroying stuff that stops us from being the us that we're meant to be. You know, because we all are here with a blueprint and a pattern and a mission and a job, and we've all got this calling inside of us. We've all got this calling of this, it just being in the world. And if we could just all be what it is that we are here to be, can we imagine how this world would change? It just go, everything would change. And yeah, that, you know, there'd be a bit of turmoil in the midst, but we're kind of witnessing a bit of turmoil already. And aren't you feeling more of this knowing of yourself and this conversation of the being more of who we're meant to be? It's just everywhere. I was talking to a friend the other day and I just said, I am so full of hope. Even though I'm looking around at the world and I'm seeing the struggle and I'm seeing the pain and I'm really witnessing, not in a Pollyanna kind of way, I am really feeling the turmoil. But I'm also so hopeful because the conversation of how we can be different, the conversation of how we can change our own lives and then vibrate that out into the world, it is just conversation that we see everywhere now. It is mainstream. We are all bathing in this self-awareness of how powerful we are if we only just give ourselves that permission to be it. And so I just wanted to talk about this today because there's this really fundamental piece that everybody thinks it's just like this horrible space where we go into this almost like despair of it's all fucking pointless. There's just, I don't feel any of it. I don't want any of it. There's all of these moments where we used to know the things that were it to us. It was like we had this plan, we had a map, we had it all figured out. We were embedded in a life, we were embedded in a solidity, we were embedded in a weaving. And it all felt right. It all was right. And then all of a sudden we wake up and it's not that anymore. And we're so aware of the fact that it's not that anymore that we can get so despondent because we don't actually know what it is. We just know what it isn't. And then we've got this separation of everything that I used to think was me, everything that I used to think was what made me happy, everything that I invested in, everything that my emotion went into, everything that I'd embedded into seems pointless now, seems not it now, seems separate from me now. And one of the analogies that I use is, you know, imagining that all of a sudden we're just like remade and we feel like we've been plonked here. And we just go, I don't know if I want any of this. What's all this? And we can have these really amazing lives and really amazing businesses and really amazing passions. And we can still go into this state of sudden separation from it, sudden change, sudden weaving of actually it's not that anymore. Oh, fuck. And then we hit this pointlessness. Then we hit this moment of, oh, what is the point of it all? And I want you to know, if you felt this, it really is a moment of a signpost that you are in the right place. Now, let me explain, because it doesn't feel like it at the time. It feels like a void around you. It feels like emptiness. It feels like separation. It feels like loss. It feels like pointlessness. It feels like empty. But what's happened is that your energy changed some time ago. You choose where you want to create your world. We're putting signposts out to the world all of the time of, I want this, I want this, I want this direction, I want this direction, I want this for me. And our energy shifts immediately, energy changes. But it takes the real world some time to catch up. It takes the solidity of life a little while to catch up to the energy of who we are. And so the solid humanness of us suddenly goes into this state where we catch up with the energy shift. And it's like, I don't know who I am anymore. I have no idea who I am in the middle of all of this. I have no idea what this is bringing to me anymore. I feel so completely separate from it. But what I want you to understand is the way that I've been shown this in lots of different ways is we have this old analogy, like in the coaching world, we have this analogy, and you'll have heard it before, of paddling upstream and not paddling downstream. Is that right? Yeah. You just so we go through life, we're paddling upstream and it's really, really hard, and we keep going and we keep going and we keep going, and it's really, really a struggle. And then our coach will tell us, well, why don't you just stop paddling that way and turn round and just let go and see where life takes you? And that's kind of the first step. That's kind of what we do when we're working on ourselves. When we're suddenly in this space of, I need to know why I keep paddling upstream, we're learning about who we are. We're learning about What keeps driving me in the wrong direction? What keeps pulling me that way? Why do I keep struggling in such like really sweating to get upstream? Why do I keep doing that to myself? And then somebody will say, well, just let go, let the boat turn around, and you'll go where you're meant to go. So we start having this moment of trust, and we start going, actually, yeah, I can trust myself. I can trust my intuition. I can trust my being in the world a little bit more. But there's a step that comes after that. The step that comes after that is recognizing that you don't even need to stay in the river. And once you recognize that there's a whole world outside of the river, and you've maybe been spending a really long time paddling away or setting intention or setting direction to get yourself to the side of the river, and all of a sudden you've got out of the river and you're sitting at the side on the bank with your canoe going, fucking hell, jeez, what was I doing in there? And this is where this moment of I don't know where I am suddenly happens. It's like we've shifted so dramatically from the paradigm of where we were that we've actually literally lifted ourselves out energetically from the solidity of all of it. And then we're just sitting on the side of the bank with our canoe going, geez, I don't even know if I want to get back in there again. Because at this point, when you were outside and it all feels like, I don't even know where I want to go, it really feels pointless getting back in the river because that is so fucking hard. And I'm looking around outside of here and there's a whole world out here. There's a massive world around here. And I have no maps for that. I have nothing for that. I have no way of navigating any of this because there's an entire world here that I didn't even know existed. I've just spent so much time and energy and effort trying to get out of the river once I even realized that I was in the river. So this is why you're sitting on the side and you're literally exhausted and you're all sitting there and going, oh, it's fucking pointless this. What was the point of that? Because I just don't know where I am now. I don't know where I am. But here's the moment where, once you've got your breath back a little bit, this is where you get to have an entire re-evaluation of life in every single way, shape, and form. So firstly, you can look at the river, you can look at where you were, you can really witness how hard you were paddling upstream and why you were going that way. All of that suddenly makes sense to you because you can see from a higher perspective all of the things that you were having to dodge around and why it was so difficult and why on earth did you invest so much of your energy doing that. And then you're also looking at the downstream and you're looking at, well, I could get back in it, but it's only going to take me that way. So we get to have this whole re-evaluation. And at this point, you also get to stand up once you've got your breath back. And you can stand up and you can do a full look around at your life. And all of this new entire world of possibility and potential that you've just put yourself into. And so from here, everything is possible. Any direction is possible. And again, then, human us goes, well, I haven't got a fucking map for that. I don't know. When I was in the river, when I was struggling really hard, when I was trying to navigate, I was actually bloody good at that. I was really, really good at paddling upstream. I knew how to do it. I was an expert at it. You know, I used to tell other people how to get upstream. how to maneuver past those rocks, and how to, have enough nutrition to keep yourself going for the day. I used to be really good in the river. So again, then we have this human reaction to the separateness of that now, and we go, oh, and we have to grieve all of the energy and effort and reality that we created in that space. But now we're out. And now we have an opportunity to go, okay, what do I want to weave in this new world? Because there are no maps out here. What parts of the rest of my life do I want to weave back together? What are the pieces that I know I actually do want to take forward? What are the pieces that actually I know now, even though I'm out of the river, used to fill me with joy? So what are those pieces that I want to collect up and start weaving anew with? And then we also have the chance to start everything afresh, to let go of all of the pieces and just let them be. So when it feels all fucking pointless, this is actually the process of knowing that you are moving into an entirely different state of being of yourself as a conscious creator of your world, as someone who is here to be a creative force in this world. And as empaths, as creatives, as teachers, as guides, as light bringers, we are all the ones that feel this really keenly. This moment of, what is that all about? That pointlessness. It only feels pointless to the moment that you decide what it is that you actually want to create from this point forward. Because you know that the old maps don't work here. You know that you used to be really good in that space, but that isn't where your soul wants you to be. We know that all of these pieces are still available to us if we want to pick them up and run with them again. But it will be entirely new, on an entirely different level of energy frequency than it was before. Because the you that you are now is an entirely different being than you were before. And so in this space, we're literally looking around at the world and we having to choose what it is that you want to create for yourself from here. Because quite often when we're in this space as well, we recognize that we've been using other people's maps. We've been using other people's directions. We've been using other plans that have been put in front of us. And then suddenly we realize they're not ours, actually. So we get to create from the brand new when we're on the other side of this moment of getting your breath back in this, like, it's all fucking pointless state. Because that is a transitionary period of knowing that what was isn't anymore, but what is hasn't quite been chosen yet. So this is you being active, conscious creator of what you want to see in your world. And we can all sit at the side of the river and just wait. We can just wait for things to pop up. Or we can actually go, I am here to be the full energy of me. I am here to be the full light of me. I am here to be me. So if I can weave from this new space, if I want to create my own maps, if I want to create my own direction, what is it that I want to weave into this? And if we have no direction right now, we start with the feeling. We start with the feeling of, I want to weave in feeling more purpose, for example. I want to start weaving in more feeling of connectedness, for example. I want to start by weaving in more feelings of love, for example. And if we know that we are collecting together these threads of love and connectedness and purpose and passion and joy, then all of a sudden we've got something to create with. And we can follow that in the next breath. And we can go, in this breath, what moves me toward those things? What moves me there? What can I try? What can I investigate? Where can I go from here that takes me in this next breath toward that a little bit? Because we're not going to have a great big plan from here. We're not going to have a map laid out in front of us. Because what got us out of the river in the first place was this knowing that there's more. And when we're in a state of moreness, then any potential is possible. We can go in any direction. We can choose freely, perhaps for the first time in a really long time. What is going to take me in this next breath further towards purpose, further towards love, further towards connectedness, further towards freedom? What is that next piece? What is that one singular step? And that's all we need to do from here. Because once we start building, once we start knowing that we're out the river, once we start knowing that this place of emptiness is actually our new place to build, then that creative force will start with a great momentum coming together really quickly. All we've got to do is give ourselves permission to just sit and think, it's okay, I'm in this pointless zone for now. It'll pass. Because I'm just creating my separation from what has been into my new what can be. And that's okay. Because as a human, we've all got to do that. We all have to let go. We all have to grieve these versions of ourselves that have been struggling all this time, or have been working really hard all this time, or have maybe you felt that, you know, we've put in so much emotion into what used to be. But now, as conscious creators of our world, as ones who are here knowing that we can create entirely new realities for ourselves based on who we are in this moment and what we put ourselves in alignment with, we then allow ourselves to move into new, powerful, directed versions of ourselves, which is pretty fucking exciting. So anyway, that was my little meandering for today. As if you are in this it's all pointless moment, it'll pass. It's good. It feels like shit, but it's good because it means that you're moving into an entirely new space of being. So let me know what that's brought up for you today. Let me know if you've got any comments. You can find out more about what I do on my website, which is at uninvented.life. And I talk a lot about all of this in my free ebook, which is called How to Drive Your Human, which is a what the fuck awakening guide. And you can also find that on my website, How to Drive Your Human. And I'll put a link in the comments. And let's just have a look, see who was here live today. Thank you if you managed to pop in live. And thank you if you're watching on replay. I am super honoured and blessed that any of you come here to, you know, meander with me a little bit. Joanna, hi. Kathy, hi. Vivian, hi. Do you want to Perfect topic. Last week was exactly there. Yep. Wobbly, disconnected, in tears. Yep. The whole shebang. Christina, hi. Yep. Last weekend. You see, it's all perfect timing. We always talk about these things as they're coming up in the world, because you know we are living in a world where all of this is happening. It's not happening in isolation to any of us, you know. And I think this is why it's really, really important that we come together in community and we talk to each other and we share all of our wibbles and we share all of the what the fuck, you know, because it's complicated right now to be an aware human being living in the world. It's not easy. Life in this solidity is not easy. But we can, with each other, supporting each other, as the little card said, be victorious, because we are each and every day choosing in this breath, who do I want to be today? In this breath, what takes me closer to in this breath? And that's all we need to do. So huge love. Send me a little comment if you want about what we've talked about today. Send me a PM if you want. You know, let's chat. And I look forward to seeing you next week at 3 p.m. Paris time, 2 p.m. UK time, 9 o'clock EST time on Thursday. So see you next week. Ciao for now. Bye.